Ambassadors from the European Union's 27 member countries are holding an emergency meeting today to discuss President Trump's tariff threats. Trump says 8 NATO allies will face tariffs if they don't support his plan to take over Greenland. Meanwhile, people are taking to the streets in Copenhagen and in Greenland, sending a clear message. They do not want to be part of the United States. ABC senior White House correspondent Selina Wang joins me now for more on this. Selina, how are our European allies reacting, and what are we hearing from Trump officials this morning justifying the tariff move?
Well, our European allies, they're outraged and they're scrambling on how to respond to this latest tariff threat. You have heard from Sweden. They're calling this move from President Trump blackmail. France says they're not going to be influenced by the president's intimidation. Now, this comes as Trump has really been escalating his rhetoric around trying to take over Greenland. He refuses to back down his months-long campaign, saying anything short of control is not acceptable. And he's refused to rule out the use of military force. Now, we've heard some Trump officials, including the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent this morning on the Sunday shows, defending both the president's desire to take over Greenland and his use of tariffs to try and extract these concessions and this agreement from these European countries that oppose the president's move. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that it would be better for U.S. and European security if the U.S. controlled Greenland. Now, despite the president often insisting that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons, he often cites Russian and Chinese activity around the island. Many lawmakers and experts say that's just not the case, saying there is no immediate national security threat, also pointing out that the U.S. currently has the ability to increase its military presence on the island through a long-standing treaty since 1951. So they have the ability, the U.S. does, to increase military bases there, to increase the military presence right now.
Now, about those lawmakers, Selina, you spoke to senators who are currently in Denmark meeting with Danish and Greenland officials. What are they saying?
Yeah, so there's really bipartisan concern. I mean, this is cutting across political lines where there are several prominent Republicans and many Democrats, of course, that are deeply concerned about the president's threats. I spoke to Senator Chris Coons, who is a Democrat, and he is leading a bipartisan delegation this weekend. They're currently in Denmark meeting with Danish as well as Greenland officials, and he tells me that they're taking Trump's threats, including the possibility of military force, extremely seriously. There are concerns about NATO falling apart. We are talking about one NATO country, the United States, potentially wanting to take over another NATO country. And so I'm told from Senator Coons that these Danish political leaders are preparing for the possibility that one of their closest allies could become an adversary. He also echoed what I've heard from experts and other lawmakers, that there is no immediate threat from China or Russia, and that the biggest threat to Greenland right now is actually the United States.
All right, Selina Wang, thank you.